Hey, Shalom, Yahshua, Shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I want to do this video in regards to how most of these liberal women, they're like on the brink of insanity, and how this election has brought out a lot of their true intentions. You know, one thing that you brothers hear in the world is that people say you'll know how somebody really feels about you when they're done with you, when they're angry, when they're drunk. And right now we got a lot of women who, you know, because Kamala Harris, whatever her name is, didn't win the election, they're showing you an ugly side of them. And you know, brothers, I watch a lot of videos from a guy named SSM, Strong Successful Male. And he would oftentimes have these videos of women who were wives or long-term girlfriends. And essentially the wife would cheat on the man. She would have an affair with a coworker. She would leave the man, send him through divorce court. And a lot of these dudes get the reality of a woman's wicked side. Because as the scripture says, it says all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. The portion of a sinner shall fall upon her. So if you want to experience the ultimate form of wickedness, look at it when a woman is angry. Look at it when a woman is upset, when a woman wants to get revenge. And that's where you'll see a lot of this behavior. And with this election, a lot of these women are emotionally unstable because they don't understand that the elites of this society, the powers that be, they're using them as pawns. The more that I look at this election, brothers, the more that I realize that the powers that be, they set up the whole thing with Roe versus Wade and the repeal of the right to have an abortion nationally, because they knew that it would divide a lot of these women from their men, which we already know America is extremely divided. And in our community of so-called black men, and you know, some of the Afro-Hispanic and indigenous native communities, but mainly with the so-called black community, they understand how separated our women are. And what I've been noticing is that there are a lot of movements that are sparking up to further push the division, because one thing that they're starting to do is promote population control, eugenics as well. So even though they quote unquote are not allowing abortions nationwide, even though you can get an abortion in 28 states, a lot of these women don't do any basic research, but essentially that is to further divide the country. So I want y'all to look at these videos for a few reasons. One, to understand why you can't take most women seriously. In fact, I wouldn't even build with any woman who's liberated at all. Feminist, Nazi, I would not deal with any of them, period, brother. You're gonna see why in this video. Second, to show you why us men, we have to be the leaders of our community, because again, most women are ruled by their emotions, and a lot of them are just mentally bugged out and unstable. And the third thing is for y'all to analyze the overarching agenda of what's happening with this election, so that way you can prepare yourself physically, financially, mentally, and spiritually for what's to come. Because I know a lot of brothers and just people in general think that Trump is going to save this economy. He's going to bring America back to what it once was, when this issue is way beyond Trump's power. And I'm going to do a video on that later in the week. But let's get into the video. All right, so exhibit 1, I don't know this woman, but I seen this on the election. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, bro, she's mentally insane. You know, the reason why I say this is because there is no reason for somebody to be going this insane over an election. First and foremost, you don't know the person. Like, I can understand why a woman would get like this if she lost her house. God forbid, you know, whenever her children passed away. She's going through an emotional postpartum stress from having a kid. But just because just because the woman that you wanted to see win lost an election, and you banging your head against the steering wheel, it looks like you're losing consciousness, you're on the brink of insanity. That lets you brothers understand that a lot of these women are not in reality. You know, these women are delusional. There's actually another video of some liberal Caucasian jumping up like a little 3-year-old. And in my mind, it's like, why are you doing this? Let's look at that video real quick.
What the fuck? Bitch! You fuck! What the hell?
Now, me personally, I think a lot of these people are doing it for attention. And you got to understand something. These people have demons on them. In my opinion, this is demonic possession. Because when you look at the liberal philosophies of alphabet, of women empowerment, of all nations coming together and worshiping the horn god or worshiping the Baphomet or the divine transgender, all of those things are directly against the Most High. And you understand, as the scriptures say, a man who is not able to rule his spirit is like a city without walls. So a lot of these liberals have no spiritual protection because they're going after Luciferian ideologies that essentially the Most High allows them to become mentally unstable. A lot of times the Most High will allow women to become emotionally unstable when they can't find a man, when they're out there trying to rule themselves, lead themselves, and go after these women's first agendas. And when it comes to the men, a lot of times the Most High allows them to become mentally unstable when they're going against what the Lord told them. When they're going after false sexual ideologies, they might be, they might like men. They might be wanting to do these sex changes. And these people are literally on the brink of insanity, dog. If you brothers look at little kids when they're throwing a tantrum and they'll lose their mind, they'll lose control, it's the same thing. But you got grown adults, because a lot of adults are just kids stuck in grown people's bodies. But let's go back to the compilation video. This is a video that a sister has sent me. Let's look at what this woman says.
Not like crying on the internet, but I'm not even about to pretend like this some shit that I'm finna be embarrassed about, bro. Like, I ain't never been so fucking devastated behind an election. And it's just like, when you a black woman surrounded by black men and they say all this shit like, oh, he's not that bad, and oh, he just hates everyone, bro. Like, it was my brother homeboy I was talking to the other day, a black man, and I found out that he's a Trump supporter. I'm like, he does not like you. And he was like, oh no, he just don't like everybody. What? So that's a good candidate for you? Someone who just fucking hates everybody? Like, what? And I'm fucking crying in my room this morning. My brother gonna come up in here and say, what's wrong with you? Like, he can't think of one possible reason why I would be upset right now, bro. These niggas are so fucking, they live on another planet. And it's because none of this shit affects men. That's why. Men don't give a fuck about.
So one thing I want y'all brothers to understand, whenever you look at a lot of these women and why they're upset about the election, it has nothing to do with policy. Or if it has something to do with policy, it's some general stuff like, oh, we're going to go into slavery. Oh, women are going to be subservient to men. Oh, women are going to lose their rights. But when you brothers actually do research and you logically look up what type of policies that he's doing, oftentimes women don't have any real concrete answer, because most of them don't understand politics, and most of them are just going with what they see on mainstream media and social media. Because like the Brother Chronicles would say, most women are not three-dimensional speakers, meaning they don't have a deeper insight and introspectivity to what's going on around them, which is why they oftentimes need a man with intelligence and wisdom to be able to show them what's actually going on. So when you look at a lot of these women and you see how they answer these videos and whatnot, they're very two-dimensional in their thinking. Because first and foremost, why are you so devastated about an election? One thing I want y'all brothers to do, I learned this from a mentor. His name's Caleb Jones. He says to practice the art of outcome independence, where you are not dependent on outcomes within the external world, whether it be the society, whether it be the economy, whether it be your family, whether it be your friends, whether it be women. You're not so dependent and focused on why people are not doing things the way that you want them. A lot of people are mentally depressed because they're trying to control outcomes in people that they have no control over. You can't control what your woman does. What I mean by that is you can guide them and you can correct them, but ultimately at the end of the day, they're their own person. You can't control your family. You can't control your friends. You can't control your job. You can only control the type of job that you want. You can only control the place that you live. You can't control America. America's fucked, period. So when you brothers start to look at things and try to become independent of the outcome of things around you, you're not going to stress out, because these people are so dependent on an election that's already a selected candidacy. They already know who they want to win before the election actually starts, that people get so wrapped up into thinking they have control that they lose their mind whenever the party that they want to win doesn't win. And that's why a lot of these people are emotionally and mentally unstable.
Nothing that don't directly affect them. If it does not directly affect men, they do not give a fuck. And motherfuckers hating women is the whole reason he got elected in the first place. The first time he got elected, he ran up against a woman. Second time he ran up against a man, and it wasn't even a good fucking candidate, and he lost. He ran up against a woman again, and he won, because y'all just fucking hate women. That's all it is.
I want to give you some advice, sister. The reason why Trump wins against women is because most people think that women aren't good leaders to run countries. I mean, the white woman has spoken. I think like over 50% of them voted for Trump over Kamala because they're not bugged out in their right mind to think that Kamala is a better leader than Trump. Even a lot of sisters, 98% voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, but only 92%. So even a lot of so-called black women are having some sense. Latino women. So hey, maybe it's not that Trump can only beat women. Maybe it's people understand that women, for the most part, are not very good introspective thinkers, especially when it comes to running a country. You know what I mean? But let's continue on.
We couldn't even get a white lady in office. Of course, they wouldn't go vote for no fucking black lady. And it's like people just...
So if you said, of course, they wasn't going to vote for no black lady, why are you so devastated? If you already knew Kamala wasn't going to win, why are you on the internet crying?
Either people don't give a fuck or they're genuinely not grasping how fucked this shit is. And it's just like somebody commented on my last video when I was like in the club, we all crying, talking about, oh, y'all are so dramatic. Dramatic? This is dramatic? Like, this is an extreme underreaction. Dramatic will be marching down to that fucking White House and burning that bitch down. That's dramatic. You don't want to see dramatic.
And they would shoot you on the spot. So, hey, brothers, a lot of these women just talking hyperbole, bro. That's one thing y'all brothers got to understand. When women get emotional, I even talked to a lot of brothers, like, shout out to the brother that I met like a week and a half ago. He came out to Dallas. We was talking and he was letting me know when it comes to his sister, she would say all type of inflammatory things when she get angry to the point where it's so disrespectful. A lot of you brothers understand that your mom or your sister or your woman, whenever she get all angry and like crazy, she starts saying things that are just way out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times with these women, bro, they just be talking, bro. That's why, like I said, honestly, brothers, I don't take 80 to 85, maybe even 90% of what liberal women say seriously, because I know most of them are just talking out of their ass, and this is no different.
It's nothing. We are fucked. We're literally doomed for the next 4 years at the very least.
Feel this, like y'all feel this, and I really.
Look at this.
Y'all feel this so bad, bro, and I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't want to hear no complaints. Oh my God, you're crying on the internet. Bro, you do not know how it felt to live with that man as president before, especially as a black woman. You do not know the way they treated us. You do not know. What disappointed me the most is...
she said you do not know how they treated us. Hey, brothers, is Donald Trump about to bring back Jim Crow? I really want y'all brothers to know. Because I'm going to be honest, 2017 to 2020, I don't remember all these women who were saying how the conservatives and Donald Trump are treating women so crazy. Outside of them not getting them abortion pills. That's it. So, again, brothers, a lot of these women are bugged out.
Treated us, you do not know. What disappointed me the most is black men. I'm not even going to talk about Latino men. I'm going to let their people deal with them. But I'm going to talk about black men and how y'all could have made such a big difference.
Oh my God.
Reporter that outed the black men.
So one thing you brothers got to understand, I saw this on Instagram threads like a few days ago. There was a woman who had said like, hey, why is everybody blaming black men for the election when most of them voted, right? And one brother said these women is just going out throwing a tantrum trying to blame men the same way that they saw their mother blame their father growing up. A lot of these women, when they mention your name all the time, black men this, black men that, men this, men that, because essentially these women didn't have a good relationship with their father. So when they talk about you or black men as a whole or men, they're really talking in coded language about their father. A lot of them hold resentment and they bring it out on their children. They bring it out on the man that they're dating, men in their family, and just men as a whole, because they have a lot of unhealed trauma that they're dealing with their father or their parents or their family as a whole. So when you see a lot of these women constantly putting your name in their mouth, a lot of it has to do with emotional trauma that they haven't healed from. And again, brothers, you can't save a woman from her own trauma. If you understand that a woman is unhealed, that's a sign that you shouldn't be with her. And also, brothers got to understand that a lot of that trauma is going to generalize. Women are going to generalize the feelings they have towards one man and put it on all men as a whole. So when you understand the polls, it's about 18% of so-called black men who didn't want to vote for Kamala who voted for Trump. But of course, women are going to group it into one big sector, because I'm just be honest with y'all, because a lot of these women hate you, it's really stemmed from them hating themselves. That's why so many of these women get all upset whenever you don't do what they want, because they have a great disdain for you. You got to think about it, brothers. If you have millions and millions of our women who willingly want to abort little girls and little boys that look like me and you and them, that's a sign that they hate themselves. Because the people who destroy other people are the people who destroy themselves the most. So you got to understand that. That's why a lot of these women are so angry and upset, because it's really a deep-seated hatred that they have for themselves and that they have for you. That's why our community is so fucked up.
Reporter that outed the black men who went and voted for Trump. What the is wrong with y'all? What the is wrong with y'all? Y'all are so money hungry for someone who's not gonna give y'all any money. It was in the woodworks for Kamala to help you out. And you said, he gave me $1,200 one time. I'll vote for him again. You hate black women. You can't say you don't now. You actively voted against black women.
She said you again. You gotta stop generalizing. Now she probably talking about me, because I wasn't finna vote for Kamala. Now I didn't vote at all, but if I had to pick, you already know Trump 2024, even though obviously he's a false savior in my opinion. But yeah, brothers, they big mad brothers. They big mad brothers. I ain't gonna lie, this is funny. Let's run this back again. What she say?
You out. And you said, he gave me $1,200 one time. I'll vote for him again. You hate black women. You can't say you don't now. You actively voted against black women.
Yeah, so again, most women thinking Kamala lost because people hate women. Not Kamala lost because she's a bad candidate, right? And also, brothers, I see something on online where somebody said all these women was out being thoughts on Halloween, and all of a sudden now you want to play politicians. Again, that's why I said in that video about voting, is that the vast majority of people should not vote because they don't think rationally. They don't think from political policy. They have no understanding on the monetary system, the financial system, the military complex of these different countries, these different nations. So again, why are we giving people the right to vote when they don't even really understand politics? I think, in honesty, I think at least 70 to 80% of the people who voted should not vote, because if you don't understand what's going on with even myself, I would still need to do more studying and more research on the government and how to run a country, even though I have some understanding on the economy, even though I have some understanding on the legislative branch, the executive branch, the judicial branch. You see what I'm saying? Most people lack a lot of this information, and that's why most people aren't qualified to vote.
Today, you were broke today, and if that man wins, you're going to be broke for the next years. Real broke.
Hey, brothers, hey, you see how a lot of them feel about you, bro? They think you broke as hell, broke boy, right?
Years. Real broke.
The police gonna start killing you young one by one by one. They gonna start killing y'all, and they gonna clock into work tomorrow because your dumb stupid ass decided to vote for Donald Trump, and he gave the police immunity, which means that if they kill you, bitch, they can still go to work.
Okay, so let's look at that, brothers. She said they gonna kill you young niggas, right? And you see how she said it. She said it like, oh, I can't wait till they kill you niggas in the street. There's other women who said the same thing, but brothers, the amount of young so-called black men who get shot by the police dwarfs in comparison to the amount of young unborn black men who get aborted in these women's wombs. The amount of men who get killed by the so-called Edomite police, or the so-called white police, dwarfs in comparison to the amount of young men who get shot and killed by hood degenerates like Lil Durk and, RICO organizations by Young Thug and Wyatt Finn Lucci, which the same people a lot of these women are getting impregnated by and chased. So you see the hypocrisy in it. Now, yes, is Trump potentially going to give police full immunity? Possibly. Who knows? More than likely, he probably will. But at the end of the day, the amount of Edomite officers who killed so-called black men dwarf in comparison to the amount of men who are getting killed from abortion, from gang policies, things like that. So yeah, that is possibly true. But at the end of the day, it's not nearly as big of an issue as a lot of these people are making it seem.
They can still go to work.
And the next time that a black man died at the hands of the police, the same black men that voted for Trump, I want y'all to be front line.
So I texted my baby daddy this morning and asked him if he voted, and if he did vote, who did he vote for? And his response was, I have 2 black daughters. Who the fuck do you think I voted for?
Type shit.
And that right there gave me a little bit of relief that I did not reproduce with a fucking idiot.
Okay.
Well, a complete idiot. Whatever.
All right, brother. So another thing I want y'all to understand. Don't recreate with women who hate men. Don't recreate with women who hate men. And that's going to be a vast majority of women. Probably like 50 to 60% hate men. And then about 20-25% of women can be reformed. And then about 10%, you know, they have a good, healthy relationship with the men in their life. Make sure you don't do that, because women like this, they're going to give you hell if you don't abide to their will. They're going to forcefully try to get you to vote for Kamala. If you don't vote for the presidential candidate that they want, they're going to ration their vaginas. And I'm going to get to that later. There's actually a movement that's coming out in regards to women trying to ration their vaginas. Yeah, all right, brothers, let's just continue on.
But I'm going to be nice to him for the rest of the year. So...
And if you got a woman having this pride, haughty look about she's going to be nice to her baby dad for the rest of the year because he voted for Kamala, that's a woman who has no intention of bringing peace in your life, just chaos. And she wants you to bend to her will, and she doesn't want to serve and support you like how a woman is actually supposed to do. So brothers, beware of women like that.
I'm going to be nice to him for the rest of the year.
So my mom casually reaches out to me like, hey, you know, did you vote? Your brothers voted. They voted for Trump. I need people to know that whether you blood, family, we close friends, if you're a Trump supporter of any kind,
okay,
I want nothing can.
All right, brothers. So think about this. What organizations where if you refuse to participate, if you vote for the ops, if you're not fully invested, what group of people will excommunicate you? What group of people will have machinations to kill you? And what group of people will put curses on you? Doesn't that sound a lot like gangs? Doesn't that sound a lot like the Bloods and the Crips, where you would get initiated and you would get your ass whooped? And if you try to leave, they would either kill you or they would beat you. It sounds a lot like gangs because, again, the red and the blue is very similar in energy to the Bloods and the Crips. You know, Kendrick Lamar, he had a lyric in his song on The Pimple Butterfly called Hood Politics. He said, ain't nothing new but affluent, new demo Crips and red blood against. Red state versus a blue state, which one you govern in? They give us guns and drugs, call us thugs, screaming they kind of, and then I forgot what else he said, but he was basically just reiterating that politics and the affiliations between each party is damn near the same thing as being a part of a gang. So that's why I tell y'all, brothers, don't get caught up in this election energy, because this election energy brings out the crazy lunacy that most of these people are in, because again, they see politicians as gods. They see politicians as gang leaders. So if you're not a part of the gang, you're public enemy number one.
I want nothing. Who can divorce their husbands? I'm gonna need you to do it today. And who can't divorce their husband? Look up Aqua Tofana. I didn't say to do anything with it.
Being a black man in America, bro, one thing I realized is we're hated more by our own women than any other person on this planet. This woman is telling women to either divorce their husbands or poison their husband. Aqua Tofana is a poison that you can put in food and drinks to people. She's telling women to exterminate their husband because they voted for Trump. What the
Again, what the scriptures say, there's no wickedness like the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. So, brothers, you got to be very careful and very wary. We live in a land full of wickedness, full of debauchery, full of chaos and confusion. So the women are just a reflection of the society, man. So just be careful out here, my brothers.
Listen, it's not all black women, but it's a lot of them. I'm going to say majority.
And she got that cat. She probably a cat witch. She probably a cat woman who dwells in some sort of witchcraft, because she talking about poisoning her own man. Hey, brothers, be careful. Brothers, test the food. Brothers, make her eat the food first. If she cook for you, make her eat it first.
The post has 102,000 likes and 7,000 saves. Come on, bro.
I might get some violations and I may offend some people with what I'm gonna say, and I don't give a f. To all you Latinos that voted for Trump, I hope he mass deports you and your entire family. Whether you were here legally or not, you gotta go.
You see how bugged out this woman is? You do understand Trump's policy is to kick out illegal immigrants, right? She talking about kicking out legal and illegal immigrants. But then again, brothers, they want you to have a woman as president. It's no disrespect. Woman is great. She's essential. You know, she can nurture a family. That, you know, I tell a lot of my brothers, like, when you're with a woman that you really mess with, the vibe, the energy, the connection that you have with her, you can't really compare it with a brotherhood, right? But a lot of these women are just irrational. Let's continue on.
I hope he does that. To you black men who your fragile ego couldn't take a black woman in office, so you either voted for Trump or you didn't vote at all, the police will now have carte blanche to murder you right where you stand. And when they do that, there's not going to be no GoFundMes. Don't ask your family to ask us for shit. Just die. They can't afford to bury you. Dig a hole in their backyard. It is what it is.
Wow.
But don't expect sympathy. Don't expect protest in the streets. We're not doing that. Black women, we're done with. We're done. We did our due diligence for this century and the next. We've done enough.
Yeah, bro. These women are bugged out, bro. A lot of these women think that they're the social justice movement warriors. When, again, brothers, what have so-called black women done for the cause of so-called black men? They're step in league with the white man. They're step in league with Black Lives Matter, which didn't pass any laws to help so-called black men stop from getting shot and killed by the police. What did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do outside of allow funding for a lot of so-called blacks? But a lot of it had to do with fraternities, sorority students, but they didn't put any type of implementation to change us morally or civilly so we could become a stronger community. In fact, they allowed our communities to be further separated and further divided. And as Mashiach Yahushua says, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. And honestly, that's one of the main reasons why there's so much division amongst us and our women, is because that's how they keep our nation weak. That's how they keep our nation divided. The more divided we are amongst each other, how can we ever build anything? You can't build something when the other person is trying to tear it down. So, these women, again, brothers, a lot of these women, they want to see you dead. They may not say it on a daily, and sometimes it might be them talking emotionally, but hey, you got to take what somebody is saying emotionally, because that's a sign that they can't control themselves and their true thoughts might be coming out. All my point is, brothers, I don't want you to hate women. I don't want you to have a ultimate vendetta for women. But the scripture says with much knowledge comes much sorrow. And when you understand the truth and you gain real knowledge about how a lot of these women see you, they're enemies. They're not your friends. They see you as public enemy number one, and they will work with your enemy to destroy you, whether it be in their womb or whether it be out their womb. As soon as things don't go the way they want, they will actively do these things to come against you. Not every woman, but there are a lot of extremists. These women are extremists. These women are extremists. You know how people say a lot of young men are becoming extremists, following after MGTOW Red Pill? Well, a lot of these women are bugged out and extremists when it comes to the liberal side. All right, brothers. So now we got this movement. I don't know if y'all heard about this. I had actually seen this on IG Threads yesterday. And then when I was on Patreon this morning, I noticed a brother had posted something about the 4B movement. And basically, this is like a movement that started in South Korea, where I guess the women, and this is all social engineering, because many women are not going to formulate a movement to try to excommunicate or breed out men. That's not something that women typically do. Like when you see women in Black Lives Matter, they didn't come up with that themselves. They were funded, and they were more than likely led by men and manipulated by men to go after these different things. So now you got this 4B movement. A lot of American women, quote unquote, are trying to come out and talk about how they're gonna completely stop dealing with men. They're not gonna have sex with men. They're gonna be abstinent, so that way they can breed out men, because essentially without women, men would not exist. Not realizing that if you decide that you don't want to breed, you're gonna breed out yourself, because you can't have a baby by yourself. A lot of these women are so delusional, they think they can have a baby on their own, just like the mother goddess. Hey brother, so there was something wrong with the audio, so I got this article that a brother posted in the Patreon. It says, what is the 4B movement? Trump's win has some women swearing off men. And it's on ABC News. So the fact that this is on ABC News, in my mind, lets me know that this is something that they're trying to promote and seed into the mindset of a lot of these women, because again, this society is trying to practice population control, things like eugenics. So any way for them to continue to divide men from women is going to control the population, and it's going to essentially start to destroy the fabric of society. Now, I don't think most women are going to do this, because most women don't have the sexual discipline to not deal with men for that long. And let's be real. What is a woman's role on this earth? To be a wife and a mother. So when you say that you're going to stop dealing with men, you're essentially saying that you're going to go against what the Most High told you and programmed you to do. And when you decide to rebel against the Most High, what is he going to do? He's going to curse you. And a lot of these women are going to have curses and become mentally depressed. A lot of them are going to off themselves. They're going to be even more on, antidepressant pills and antidepressant medication. And they're going to start to lose their mind even more. The reason why so many of these women are acting like how they're acting is because they're mentally unstable and they're unhappy and they're depressed. That's why they're acting the way that they're acting, because a woman cannot survive and be happy without a man. That's just not how they're designed. But if you choose to go against what the Lord told you and created you to do, then he's going to plague you and not bless you in anything that you're doing. So let's go on. It says, for many women, the 2024 presidential election was rooted in reproductive rights, with President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris campaigns offering two different versions for abortion access in America. From childless cat lady comments to my body, my choice chance, the divide on women's reproductive rights became a cornerstone of the election. And you know what's ironic about this, brothers? The way that they frame this, they make it seem like if you voted for Trump, you're voting for somebody to take away women's rights when it comes to abortion. Again, abortion is legal in 28 states. Abortion is legal on some capacity in 28 states. It may not be legal in Texas. It may not be legal in Illinois. And you live in these countries that I listed, like Texas, Mississippi, Oklahoma. All you have to do is drive to Kansas. All you have to do is drive to California, Oregon, New York. Many of these states offer abortion for people out of state. So a lot of these women are making it seem like you can't get an abortion. That's not true. You can get an abortion. You just got to go to a different state that allows it. It's just, you see how stupid this debate is? So essentially, they're just pawning these women into making it seem like they lost their rights, when in actuality, it's just become a state issue. So some states vote for it, some states vote against it. Just get a $100 ticket and get your abortion and sacrifice your child to Molech in a democratic state. They'll happily accept you. Let's continue on. It says, in the wake of Trump's victory on Tuesday, and with anti-abortion initiatives passing in several states, a South Korean feminist, keyword feminist, movement that advocates for women to swear off men in childbirth entirely has become a buzz on social media. Ladies, we need to start considering the 4B movement like the women in South Korea and give America a severely sharp birth rate decline, wrote one ex-user in a post that has over 460,000 likes. And brothers, when you read stuff like this lets you know that you should leave America. Now, okay, this is what I personally want to do. I want to get out of America. Because when I see stuff like this, this shows me that the people who live in America on a regular basis are batshit crazy. Now, is this the norm? Probably not. But the fact that there are so many extremist ideologies that people have lets me know that why would I stay in a land that hates men, especially so-called black men? You out of your fucking mind? But continue on. It says, the 4B movement, which gained popularity in South Korea in 2019, calls for women to abstain from sex, dating, marriage, and having children with men. And hey, I gotta give these women a lot of credit, brothers, because you're killing two birds with one stone. By them going through this movement, they're not gonna need the right to abort their babies, because a lot of them are not gonna have sex. So if you don't have sex with a man, you're not gonna have any need to abort. So congratulations to these women. You done solved your own issue. All right, it says, what does 4B stand for? It says the name 4B is shorthand for Korean word starting with Ba, which translates to no, according to a paper on the movement. Baihon, the refusal of heterosexual marriage. You see that? It says the refusal of heterosexual marriage. So they're okay if you deal with a lesbian, but they're not okay if you deal with a man, right? Bai Chu San, the refusal of childbirth, which is one of the joys that the Most High gave the women, right? Bayone, the refusal of dating men. Baisikasu, the rejection of heterosexual relationships as a whole. So basically, this is a movement for women to become lesbians. Either to become lesbians or miserable women who have no children in their life and no man. And you don't know how bitter these women are going to be. They're going to be shaving their heads, turning their hair blue and green and yellow like the feminists. They're going to have a scowl. They're going to have hatred towards this life. And most of these women are going to die sad, alone, and depressed. And whenever you see them promoting these movements like this is a Trojan horse. This is a horse to allow women to destroy themselves and to destroy the relationships they have and to continue to further dilute the aspect of a strong nuclear family with a man, a wife, or multiple wives, if y'all brothers want that, and having a healthy child dynamic. So, hey, if they want to do this, they could destroy themselves. I mean, that's on them. And when you see a lot of these movements, brother, this is just the Most High allowing judgment to come on these women for being liberated. Because the Lord doesn't bless women who are whores. He curses them. He may not curse them being homeless. He may not curse them, with not being able to provide for themselves. But he curses them with the plague of the mind, where they're not going to be happy and they're not going to find any happy. Most women can't really be happy. But when the woman is a feminist, she's miserable. So it says South Korea has the lowest fertility rate in the world, with women of reproductive age having fewer than one child on average, according to data released in 2023. And that's why these countries are about to collapse. You got so many people with Social Security, you don't have any workers to bring in tax revenue. So this isn't helping. It says similarly, marriage rates are down more than 35%. As with the women in the United States, South Korea women are subjected to a gender gap. In 2022, the country's female workers were paid on average 31% less than their male counterparts. For comparison, the gender pay gap in Japan stood at 21.3% in 2022 and 17% for women workers in the U.S. in the same year. While the movement remains small and relatively online, with many women opting for anonymity, according to researchers, the news of Trump's second term in the White House has sparked interest in 4B in the U.S. And again, brothers, I think that there are a lot of women who are liberal plants that the powers that be are using to instill into their mind. Will this get very popular? Who the hell knows? A lot of women say things that they don't mean each and every day, and most of them lack the sexual discipline to actually do this. I guarantee you, if Tyrone or Chad or whoever, whatever bad boy dude that turns them on meets them, they'll probably give this up. But what they might do online is give the illusion that they're going to abstain from women. Just like most women who say that they're celibate. Most of these women aren't really celibate. They'll break their rules for the guy they really want. But in their mind, they'll tell themselves that they're following, because that's how women operate. But it says, could the 4B movement grow in the U.S.? It says, just as divisive as the election cycle, the post-election rhetoric surrounding abortion access has divided social media users. In the past 2 days, online searches about the 4B movement and the use of the phrase on social media has grown quickly. The women in South Korea are doing it. It's time we join them. Men will not be rewarded nor have access to our bodies, one ex-user wrote. Another user added, American women look like it's time to get influenced by Korea's 4B movement. On Wednesday, a day after Trump's election win, a TikTok user shared a video of her attempting to shave her head while discussing her frustration with the election and societal pressures on women. And when y'all brothers see women shaving their head, that's a sign that they hate the honor that the Most High gave them. Because when you read in the book of 1 Corinthians, Paul reiterates that it is an honor for a woman to have long hair. That's why the Most High plagued them with the curse of baldness, because he was giving them the shame for the dishonor that they had acted, for the wickedness that they had engaged with, along with the men. But that was the so-called black woman, mainly the Israelite women's curse, is that the Most High would not allow them to grow their hair. And that's why when you see a woman shaving her head, that's a spiritual sign that she's shaving off her honor and she's trying to go against how the Most High made her. Because even when you look at these movements, essentially these women are so angry and upset that they're trying to go against how the Most High created them, which is to come together with a man, to have a family with a man, and to have great sex with men. Let's just be real. And whenever you brothers run into women who are trying to ration sex or are trying to use sex as a weapon, that's a sign that you shouldn't deal with that woman, because she's trying to weaponize something that should come naturally. Even the scriptures, Paul says that the body of the wife is for the husband. Let's get it real quick. All right, so this is 1 Corinthians 7:4. It says, the wife has not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise, also, the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. So a lot of people are going to hear this and think, what? Is this advocating for rape? No, what he's saying is, when you come into a marriage, a wife is going to have sexual desires. A husband is going to have sexual desires. So essentially, each partner's body should be used as a means of satisfaction for their partner. So if you got a woman and she's trying to ration her vagina, she's trying to say, oh, I don't think you deserve sex, you didn't do this for me, or she's playing these mind games with the cat, that's a sign that she has a wicked heart. Either she's being miseducated and she's being influenced by feminism, because really it's feminism that tells women that men should not have sex with them and that you need to take control of your own body. Because according to what the Holy Spirit of the Most High inspired Paul to write in 1 Corinthians, he's letting you know that in a healthy marriage, a woman should be willingly giving it to you and not using it as a weapon of warfare. You see what I'm saying? So brothers got to understand that when you see movements like 4B movement, these are just women essentially angry and upset that on a spiritual level, the Most High made men to be heads over women, and they're just miserable. And on a lower level, they're just trying to retaliate because they're upset and butthurt that they didn't win the election, because most women are children and mentally. Most women are children mentally, the way that they act. Getting back into this, it says, I'm opting out, ladies. I hope you join me. She wrote in the caption of the video with a 4B movement hashtag. As of Thursday, the video has garnered 300,000 likes and has been viewed over 3 million times. Another video posted by TikTok user on Wednesday, which has since gained 1.7 million likes, said, doing my part as an American woman by breaking up with my Republican boyfriend last night and officially joining the 4B movement this morning. So yeah, brothers, a lot of these women are batshit crazy. And I think personally, the powers that be are using this abortion thing and this election with Kamala and Trump to further divide not only just the Republicans and the Democrats, but to further divide the man from the woman, which is going to weaken this country even more, reduce population, birth rates, and all that, and essentially cause the fabric of society to collapse even quicker. So Lord willing, y'all brothers are edified. Again, brothers, be careful. A lot of these so-called black women hate you. They want to see you dead. And if you don't do what they want as their servant, as their lab boy, they will show you. You know, so brothers got to be careful. Learn to lead yourself and find a woman who you can lead. A woman who's teachable, who's humble, who's not caught up in these batshit Luciferian ideologies. Because I promise you, if you deal with a woman like the women that I'm showing you, they will make your life a living hell if you let it. And your peace is what's most important outside of following the Most High and his Son and abiding in his word and scriptures. The next important thing for y'all brothers is having peace in life. And if women can't bring it, and if they want you to fall down these ditches to Luciferianism, you gotta let their ass go. So all praise to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Till next time, signing out.